What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I want to show you this video. Now it's been going around the internet. It's gone viral, and it's. I'm not going to show the whole video. I will show parts of it, and we're going to talk about this. And this happened in Las Vegas, where you had a defendant actually attack a judge. And I just want to talk about this. And coming from law enforcement background, if you guys didn't know, I was a probation officer. I worked for the probation department for 21 years. I actually worked in the courts for several years, as well as I dealt with criminals on a daily basis. That was my job. And so I want to talk just a little bit about this, and we're just going to go over the video. I'm not going to show the part where he actually attacks the judge, but I want to show what leads up to that, because I think that's important. And most of the videos out there, they're not showing you the beginning, how this got to this point. They're just showing you that very end where he jumps and attacks the judge. Now, I'm sure you've already seen that, so that's why I'm showing this, as well as YouTube doesn't like when we show violence and stuff like that. So I'm going to refrain from showing that. But I think there's a lot of information that we can gather just from the prior to him actually attacking the judge. And you can look at his demeanor and everything, and where the deputies were placed, I guess it's Metro PD, where they were placed in this whole situation, and how this person, this defendant, actually was able to get that close or get up and attack the judge. So we'll talk a little bit about that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to play it. I'm going to stop it along the way while we're watching this, and hopefully we'll be able to talk a little bit about what is actually happening. So he's being sentenced. That's the first part. So he's asking for probation. And what a lot of defendants, well, actually their attorney will ask for probation in lieu of going to prison. So the judge can just order you straight to prison, or the judge can say, you know what, I'm going to put you on probation for 3 to 5 years. If you do good on probation, then you're not going to, I'll suspend that prison sentence. But even being on probation, that prison sentence is over their head. So if they violate, and I had this happen all the time, supervising people that are on probation, they're on for 3 to 5 years. If they violate in that time, then that's when I arrest them, take them back to the court, and then the judge has an option to send them to prison or to give them maybe 90 days or 180 days. So it just depends. But in this situation, this is not his first offense. He's had offenses prior. He's been convicted of. And so now he's trying to ask for probation in a situation like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Here we go.
Mr. Redden, is there anything you want to say on your own behalf before I pronounce sentence?
So basically, I would like to tell the courts and everyone here, like, based on my criminal history, like, I feel that, like, I shouldn't be, like, sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history?
And you notice he said for a second time. So he's already been to prison, and now he gets in trouble again, and now he's asking for probation in this situation, but he's already been to prison. Generally, it doesn't happen. In Nevada, I think it's a little bit different, where probation and parole are tied together. In California, where I worked, probation, we had county probation, and then you had parole. That was run by the state. But in Nevada, I think it's all run by the state, parole and probation. So he could get probation, or he could go to prison and then get out and be on parole.
Have you looked at your criminal history?
I actually just, I looked at it.
I mean, you lived it, I suppose.
I just looked at it,
Yeah.
And,
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs. Got a lot going on, sir.
So very violent. You see that, multiple DVs that she's talking about there.
I just figured, like,
Battery on a protected person, robberies, attempted home invasion.
And then home invasion too. Then you notice where, so you have the Metro officer here. He's standing relatively close to the defendant. And I would imagine he probably stood there the whole time. But when it got to that point, and we'll talk a little bit more, a lot of people are saying, well, why didn't he tase them? Or, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Just response time and how hard it would be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just.
I just figure like I'm in a better place in my mind, in my mental health. I have a support system. I just got hired as a Teamster for the union, making $20 an hour. And like the reason behind every single domestic violence, I've been dealing with mental health, and I didn't know that I was dealing with mental health. And they put me in mental health court, and I still didn't know that I had a mental health problem until it was August 2022 when I realized I have a problem with this. And like having a dictionary and like understanding myself, getting to know myself a little better, and applying it to my personality, and having an epiphany at that moment in those instances, and just like trying to learn from my mistakes, And I feel like I shouldn't be sent to prison. But if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. But I figure that, if I'm in a better place in my life, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not out there committing crimes now, and I feel like I should be given a shot because I'm in a better place than I was then, but that's, I'm a person who never stops trying to do the right thing, no matter how hard it is. And I just, and I'm trying, and I never give up trying to do the right thing. I know I'm not a rebellious person. I don't want to be standing there. I don't want you to have to, sit up there and waste your time as well, But the criteria of me saying this is that I'm a person that never stops trying to do the right things, even if it's hard. And I did the best I could. I have mental problems.
Thank you.
I think the court can trust that he is going to perform well on probation. I think he's worth this risk. The court wants the 19 to 48 as suggested by the DA. I would have no issue with that, but to suspend it rather than just send him to prison for any length of time. I think it makes.
So what this attorney's asking for right now is a suspended sentence. So in essence, if the DA is asking for prison, so this is a defense attorney, and he's saying that's okay, give him that time, but suspend it, put it over his head, put him on probation. If he does well on probation, then he'll never have to serve that time. But if he violates his probation, that's when that suspended sentence would come into play.
More sense given the circumstances and his ability to do probation successfully that he given this opportunity.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. I'm not going to play anymore. The deputy is right here. So that was the one that was standing right behind him the whole time. And he almost got to him. But you have to understand, and I would imagine this is not too far of a distance where the defendant was standing when he was talking, to the point where he jumped, he went into the actual well and then jumped at the judge. So there's not that much. I mean, it might be maybe 10 feet. So that's, I mean, you can take off running, and if someone is chasing you, they're probably not going to catch you. And so the Metro PD officer didn't have enough time to actually catch him. And you're asking, well, why didn't he tase him? You don't have that response time. You're not going to have enough time to tase him if he's running at full speed. You're not going to be able to pull out your taser and actually tase him before he gets to that, however long that distance was. If it's like 10 feet, he's not going to have enough time to do that. And then also, he's putting the judge in more danger because not only is she being, you have someone attacking her, but now he's shooting his taser in her direction. It's same as, you say, well, why didn't he use his weapon? The same thing. You have people behind him, behind the actual defendant. So you can't, there's no way that you could shoot him at that point. So he didn't have a real opportunity. There was another Metro PD officer that was in there and then actually jumped on him as well as the clerk. The clerk is sitting right off to the right here. This is the clerk. And so the clerk jumps up. Now, the clerk was really in the best position because the clerk could see the whole thing, and he could, he helped a lot, but he had that best position in order to do that. Maybe in the future, they're going to have to make some changes and actually have a Metro PD officer right there sitting up where the clerk would sit or where a witness would sit, right in that area, so they can really protect the judge. But real sad situation that you're seeing unfold here. And obviously, just looking at this guy's rap sheet, he had some violent stuff in his past, and we've just never seen anything like. Well, I have never seen a judge get attacked like this on during a court proceeding. It's just crazy, and obviously they're going to have to beef up security at probably all courts. And I told you I did work in the courts for several years, and we had 2 deputy sheriffs in the court at all time, because usually this is not, I mean, sentencing, yes, it could get pretty bad, but usually when they really wanted to have deputies, and they have extra deputies in the court, is when you had victims talk about their experience and things like that. That's when you needed to have more of a police presence, because that's when you see a lot where you'll have a defendant and then you'll have victims up there, or people who are related to the victims, and they just lose it and they go after the defendant. We've seen that a lot happen in the courts. And so that's why you need to have the more of a police presence. But in this situation, it looked like there were only 2 officers that were in the court at that time, in the courtroom at that time, and maybe they'll have to reevaluate that and have some more police presence, or at least have them positioned in a better place where if someone were to try to attack the judge, they would be able to get in front of them before they could. Because in this situation, they're not positioned in a good place. If you're behind him, yes, you can chase him down, but he still has that advantage because he knows where he's going. You don't know where he's going. And he knows what he's going to do, but you don't know what he's going to do. So you're just reacting. And there's going to be a little bit of delay if you have to react to something like that. So just wanted to show you guys that. I thought it was, just a sad situation. And I don't want to show the whole thing, but they were able to, it took probably about 30 to 45 seconds for them to, I mean, he was able to jump over onto the judge. She said that she was okay. I think she said she hit her head, but it took them about 30 seconds to 45 seconds for them to gain control of him. But yeah, real sad situation. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.